Hey everyone, welcome to part 4 of my in-depth review of the new Necron Codex. As always, my name is Jay, and today I will be going through the elites and the Catan powers. They got powers now. It's kind of like spells, but not really. It's more like a shooting attack that's really random, but still, they're all cool. So we'll talk about that in a second. So the elites section. So other than the Catan themselves, who got improved, but they got more expensive. Everything else in the elites, basically sum it up, cheaper. But now the elites, most of them are in formations in this new Necron. If you want to take the Necron detachment, they're in formations now. So I'll be discussing the formations as well as the squads themselves, because that way it'll put things more into perspective. Obviously, you can still take just a normal battle-forged army with the standard force organization chart from the rulebook if you want. It might be worth doing too. If that's the case, I'd recommend stacking some of those bonus rules you get for the reanimation protocols. That way they pass the reanimation on a 4-up instead of a 5-up. But we'll start off with Lich Guard. Lich Guard got cheaper. Lich Guard are much cheaper now. They're 125 points each for the Lich Guard. And they got super cheap because they used to be like 200. So they got dropped by a lot. 15 points a model. Huge point drop. Huge. Lich Guard, and if you liked them before, you're going to like them still. Same weapon skill, ballistic skill 4, strength toughness 5, 1 wound, 2 initiative, 2 attacks, leadership 10, 3-up save. They have a war scythe and reanimation protocols. You can take out up to 5 additional Lich Guard for 25 points each. Your entire squad may exchange war scythes with hyperphase swords and dispersion shields, which kind of lost their zing. I wouldn't do it anymore. Because earlier, I definitely think war scythes is just the way to go. Because for 5 points a model, I don't know, the shields are good. It gives them an invulnerable save, but it no longer pings and hits your opponent. That was kind of a fun thing to do in the previous codex, but it does give them an invul. So, up to you if you want to do that. Again, 5 points. They get an invul. They're more survivable, so that's not bad. It's a 3-up invulnerable save, so it's pretty nasty. You know, you still get a bonus attack. But that's pretty good. So maybe 5 points. Might be worth it, actually, now that I think about it. It just doesn't bounce off your opponent. It doesn't bounce off the shield and hurt your opponent anymore. That was a lot of fun to do. But it still is a very viable option for 5 points. Since you're saving like 15 a model, doing that for 5, nothing wrong with that. And you can take it Nightside as a dedicated transport. Might be worth it. Now, Lich Guard are a part of the core group in the new Necron detachment, so you can take 0 to 2 of them in the core group, which actually might be a viable option. I think that'd be a very good supplement to the warriors and the immortals in the group. So it might be worth it. Attach your HQ to it, throw at your opponent. They'll survive. They'll kick butt. Put them in Night Scythe. Great way to get them to your opponent, and it also gives them a Night Scythe. Pretty nasty. Up next, we have Death Marks. Death Marks are 90 points each. They didn't change that much. They were 19 points each, now they're 18. So, and they're kind of, if you liked them before, again, you're going to like them now. They're not really anything new. Their own detachment is just a unit of Death Marks. So their formation is called Death Marks. So again, if you want to take them, up to you. They have the Synaptic Disintegrator, which is the 24-inch range rapid-fire sniper rifle thing. And there's still weapon skill 4, strength toughness 4, 1 wound, initiative 2, 1 attack. It's slightly different. They're slightly different this time. There's no more stacking of death marks on top of each other to shoot at guys. Basically, the turn that they come in from deep strike, they get to wound on a 2+, whatever they shoot at. Yeah, all shooting attacks made by the death marks in this unit will wound on a roll of 2 up. Pretty good instead of a normal 4-up. And of course, they can do that thing where after your opponent if your opponent deep strikes a unit in, you can deep strike them in. Right afterwards, and at the end of the movement phase, they can shoot something. So they can actually turn around and actually shoot your opponent. So that's pretty cool. I think that actually might be a good thing to do. If your opponent brings in something with lighter armor that you can shoot through, or even, I don't know, it will wound them. So maybe something with a bad armor save, could hurt. Could be fun. So your opponent moves something, deep strike something scary, you deep strike them in as well, and light up the person, maybe light up the squad that actually deep struck in, and could possibly kill them. You can include up to 5 more death marks for 18 points each. They can include a Night Scythe as a dedicated transport. Next one, Flayed Ones. 13 points each. Pretty much nothing changed with Flayed Ones. They used to be 13, now they're 13. Yeah, they have 2 Flare Claws, same stat line as before, Weapon Skill 4, Ballistic Skill 1, Strength Toughness 4, 1 wound, Initiative 2, 3 attacks, Leadership 10. Include up to 15 additional Flayed Ones for 13 points each. So squads of 20. Cool. Their normal formation is just called Flayed Ones, so it's just a squad of Flayed Ones is their formation, which you can take as an auxiliary formation. They had Deep Strike, Fear, Infiltrate, Reanimation Protocols. I don't think they had Fear before, so maybe the Fear is new to them. So not bad. Next, the Triarch Stalkers, the Jump Pack Infantry for the Necrons. 140 points for 5. So not bad, 28 points each. They used to be 200 points each. So again, a 12-point drop each. Pretty good. Went from 40 points to 28. They're very viable. I think that all these elite slots are very viable. They have their own formation as well, I believe. No, sorry, their formation is 2 squads of Praetorians and 1 Triarch Stalker. So it's an expensive formation relative to the other ones, but it could be worth it too. So 2 squads of 5 would be pretty fun. The entire squad can exchange their Rods of the Covenant for Void Blades and Particle Casters. May select a Night Side that they could transport. They have Fearless Reanimation Protocols. So they're fearless. Pretty cool. Weapon Skill Ballistic Skill 4, Strength Toughness 5, Initiative 1, 2 attacks, Initiative 2, Leadership 10. And up next, the Praetorian Stalker, which again goes well with them for their formation. 2 squads of them, 1 Praetorian Stalker. It's basically the same thing as it was before. Weapon Skill Ballistic Skill 4, Strength 7, Armor 11 round, Initiative 2, 3 attacks, 3 hull points. It's 125 points. So it used to be 150, now it's 125. So it got 25 points cheaper. Again, everything got cheaper pretty much. It's nice, other than the Kitans. They have a Heat Ray. So for 125 points, you get Heat Ray, which let's go over that quickly. Heat Rays are 2 modes: Dispersed Template, which is the Flamer template, Strength 5, AP 4, Heavy 1, or Focused, 24-inch Strength 8, AP 1, Heavy 2, Melta. So if you're good for popping vehicles, great stuff. It has Quantum Shielding, Living Metal, Move Through Cover. It's Targeting Ray, all friendly. This is what I really like. I really like this rule. All friendly non-vehicle units within Necron's faction within 6 inches or at least 1 Triarch Stalker add +1 of their Ballistic Skill unless they're firing snapshots. That's huge. So if you put a Praetorian Triarch Stalker in the middle of your squads, keep everyone conga lined near it, all those squads get to fire at +1 Ballistic Skill. That's huge. Hitting on 2s, people. 2s! With rapid fire weapons, that's huge. So I really think the Triarch Stalker is going to be seen in a lot of games, because as long as you keep it alive with that Quantum Shielding, whoa. Your opponent won't really know what hit them when you're hitting them with 2s. You know, that many shots, you're going to do some serious damage. You're going to destroy any vehicle you want per turn. Because, you know, that many hits, you roll enough 6s, boom, gone. And the really cool thing about the new Codex is that you can have now Triarch Stalker Squadrons. Yeah, because you can include up to 2 additional Triarch Stalkers for 125 points each. Wow. So again, you conga line them around, spread them out, conga line everyone, a lot of rapid firing hitting on 2s. You can take a Particle Shredder or Twin Linked Heavy Gauss Cannon. Particle Shredder's 5 points, Heavy Gauss Cannon's 10. Good stuff there. Really good stuff there. And next we have the 2 Kitans. So there's 3 Kitans actually in this Codex. One's in Heavy. So here's the 2 that are in the Elite section. So you can take a lot of Kitans. And the Catan section formation of the auxiliaries is just a Catan. So you can take any Catan. And there's 2 types. Now there's the heart. Now they've actually decided to re-separate the Nightbringer and the Deceiver. I personally prefer the Nightbringer, but we'll talk about that. They're both 240 points, so a bit of a price hike. They used to be at 185, I believe. Yeah, 185. So 55-point increase. But they have now powers. Pretty cool. And they each have trade-offs. So the Catan Shard of the Nightbringer has Weapon Skill 6, Ballistic Skill 4, versus the Deceiver, which has Weapon Skill, Ballistic Skill 5. So better Weapon Skill on Catan of the Nightbringer, better Ballistic Skill on the Deceiver. They both have powers of the Catan, which I'll be going over in a moment. Eternal Warrior, Fearless, Fleshbane. Sorry, Catan of the Nightbringer's Fleshbane. Deceiver has Hit and Run. I still prefer the Nightbringer, as I said. Strength toughness 7, 4 wounds, initiative 4, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 4 save for both of them. They're both immune to natural law, which basically they can move through anything as long as they don't finish on top of a model. They both have Necrodermis, which is a 4-up invulnerable save, and when they're reduced to 0 before removing the model as a casualty, each nearby unit, friend or foe, suffers a Strength 4 AP 1 hit for each model it has within D6 inches of that model. So basically they blow up and kill everything around them. Fun stuff. So run them in front of your opponent, kill them, get them killed in close combat, and they just blow up and kill everyone. Or at least half the things. Like, it'd kill, if they're up against squad Terminators, they'd kill half the Terminators instantly. Pretty fun stuff. And the Catan Night Shard of the Nightbringer has what's called Gaze of Death. In the shooting phase, in addition to its using powers of Catan, it also can target... it basically has an equivalent of a shooting... the old Doom of Malantai. So it's a 12-inch range, which it draws line of sight. It basically can target one non-vehicle enemy unit within 12 inches to which it has line of sight. The unit suffers a number of wounds equal to 3d6 minus leadership, resolved at AP2, and with ignores cover special rule. So no cover saves and no armor saves, and maybe invulnerable saves. That's it. That's pretty nasty. If at least one unsaved wound is inflicted, the Catan Shard of the Nightbringer immediately regains a wound lost earlier in the battle. So it's kind of like the old Doom of Malantai. I like that. It's going to keep this guy alive, and once he gets in close combat, he can just use that, and he'll be hilarious. So, yeah. Or not in close combat. Once he gets close to the enemy, he'll use it, and that's pretty cool. Versus the Deceiver, which has a rule called Dread. All models, models and enemy units that are within 12 inches of the model subtract 2 for their leadership. He's a good support unit. And the Grand Illusion, immediately after all forces have deployed, he basically can move himself and D3 other friendly units within 12 inches of him off the table. They can redeploy or be placed in reserve. So he can kind of deceive your opponent. You put up a facade, and then you move them afterwards when your opponent counter deploys to them. But I still prefer the Nightbringer. He's the same cost and has a better cool Doom of Malantai shot. So let's go over the Catan point. The Catan powers. So powers of Catan. Essentially, in the shooting phase, you call your target, and then you roll a dice. And on a d6, and each one goes to a certain power. I don't like this, personally, because I prefer it if the order was changed. If you, at the beginning of the power, rolled your dice and then called your target, it'd be much better to attune a power to a target. The biggest problem with these Catan powers is that they're not all the same. Some are designed to kill infantry, some are designed to kill vehicles. And I think there's going to be a lot of times where you call it against a vehicle, you roll the infantry one, or vice versa, and they're not going to be as effective. You get to roll your power first and then call your target accordingly. It'd be very powerful, because that's essentially what you get to do with psychic powers. You call your psychic power and you match that psychic power to your opponent, to something that you want to kill. If you have a lance, you're going to use it against a vehicle, versus these powers where you... each time model uses power, you choose a target, and then roll your d6. So again, there's going to be a mismatch a lot of the time. But let's go over them anyway. Some of them are pretty nasty. And as I said, so if you have a normal Catan, so any of the shards, or the other one, the Catan, whatever his name is, the Transcendent Catan, they use the first power, and there's 2 for each one. And versus the Tesseract Arc, which uses the other one, the better one. So, this is the normal Catans in the Elite section will use the first one. So there's Antimatter Meteor, which is number 1. Transcendent, 24-inch range, Strength 8, AP 3, Large Blast, Assault 1. And then there's the better power version of it, which is called Coalescent. 48-inch range, so twice the range, Strength 8, AP 3, Assault 1, Apocalyptic Blast. Goodbye, opponent. Yeah. There's Cosmic Fire, which is number 2. Transcendent version is the 24-inch range, Strength 6, AP 4, Assault 1, Large Blast, ignores cover. Coalescent, 48-inch range, Strength 6, AP 4, Assault 1, Apocalyptic Blast, ignores cover. So if you're ever up against a Tyranid player, goodbye, Tyranid player. Goodbye, friend as well, but still. Seismic Assault, number 3. Transcendent, 24-inch range, Strength 6, AP 4, Assault 10, Strike Down. Cool. And then this Coalescent, 40-inch range, Strength 6, AP 4, Assault 20, Strike Down. Falling from the Sky, Sky of Falling Stars. The Transcendent is 24-inch range, Strength 7, AP 4, Assault 3, Large Blast Barrage. Coalescent, 40-inch range, Strength 7, AP 4, Assault 6, Apocalyptic Barrage. So again, basically it's twice the range, larger the blast, right, for each one. Times Arrow, Transcendent, 24. This one's nasty. Transcendent, 24-inch range, Strength D, AP 1, 24-inch range, Assault 1, Precision Shots. Coalescent, 2 shots at 40-inch range, Strength D, AP 1. See, the problem, as I said, if you're going to match, it's going to be hard to match these up because some of them are going to be Strength 6, AP 4. So if you want to get that Land Raider off the table, hopefully you get the Strength D one or the Strength 9 one coming up or the Strength 8 one, but the other ones are going to be no use. And just if you were shooting at a squad, you want to get a Flamer one or a Large Blast. If you get a Strength D, AP 1 one-shot, yeah, you're going to kill one guy, but I don't know. And then there's the last one is called Trans-Dimensional Thunderbolt. Transcendent is 24-inch range, Strength 9, AP 1, Assault 1 Tesla. And the Coalescent is 40-inch range, Strength 9, AP 1, Assault 2 Tesla. And Tesla, of course, when firing any to hit roll of 6, causes 2 additional hits on target. Snapshots do not apply to that rule. And that's it for the assaults. Not the assaults, the elites. That's it for the elite section. So overall, let's go through them. Basically, everything got cheaper other than the Catans. The Catans are interesting. They might be worth their points. I'm going to have to think about the random shots. I think there's going to be a mismatch. If you line up the correct shot with the correct target, you're golden. But you might not. It's like a 50-50. Some of them, like if you're going for a tank, half of them are good, half of them aren't. Squads, half of them good, half of them not. Besides that, all the other elite slots got cheaper and really good. They're just as good as they were before, basically. If you liked any of them before, you're going to love them again. I really like Lich Guard. I think Lich Guard are going to be pretty solid, even with their shield. I think the shield option is going to be very solid because all the points drops. Death Marks might be good. Yeah, I don't like the 24-inch range. But if you liked them before, you'll like them now. Blade Ones, I don't really still see the use of them. Maybe a Horde version of Necrons. Triarch Praetorians and Triarch Stalker, I think that's a solid combination in their formation, especially the fact that Triarch Stalkers can be taken in squadrons of 3, and they give the bonus of Ballistic Skill to everyone around them. That's amazing. I think that's amazing. And then the Catan Shards. Again, they might have their options. I prefer the Nightbringer over the Deceiver, but what do you think? So leave a comment in the comment section down below of what you think of the Elite section of this Codex. Did I miss anything? Did I get anything wrong? Do you have anything else to add? I really do appreciate your comments, and together we will talk to each other about the Elite section. So thank you very much for watching this part of my in-depth review of the new Necron Codex. Stay tuned for the next part where I'll be going over the fast attacks. So until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting.